I saw the most amazing thing. See all them people getting ready to build the temple at Jerusalem. I cried and cried and cried because I know it won't be long. The most relevant verse in Revelations regarding a rebuilding of the temple is Revelations 11 and 12, which describes John being instructed to measure the temple and its altars, but not the outer court, as it will be given to the nations for 42 months. Other books, particularly Ezekiel, Daniel, and Isaiah, provide more detail in the measurements, rebuilding of the future temple and of Jerusalem. The outer court is left for nations will trample through the holy city for 42 months, and the outer court will be occupied by non-believers. And that's strange. It speaks of Jesus returning after this and landing on his feet on Mount Olives and the mountain splitting in two. The Hebrew prophets all prophesied that in the last days the exiles of Israel would return to the promised land and the temple would be rebuilt. And they're returning, and they're all carrying their flags, and they all look very, very happy. Then the nations will know that I, the Lord, make Israel holy when my sanctuary is among them forever. Ezekiel 37:28. These things are unfolding right before our eyes, people. Right before our eyes. Amos 9:14 and 15. They will never be uprooted from their city again. And he will call out in a loud voice to gather all his people Gentiles, everybody, all his people, the church. Gather all of us from the east and north and south and the west. He would call all of the sons and daughters. And to see, I seen this one gentleman, he was shaking. He was, bless his heart. It touched my heart so much, so I couldn't help but cry. He was trying to push two of the concrete blocks together. They had come apart, and he was trying to push them back together with his hands, which was impossible. But he had put something in between the cracks of the two concrete blocks to put it in there for a blessing, I guess, or for a gift. I'm not sure. I'm sure he had his reasons, but it touched my heart so much to see all of them standing there with their flags, some crying, some laughing, all happy, and looking around, and they're trying to figure out where to put the third temple at. They know where, the city is, but they've got to pick out the best place to put the third temple at so that it won't cause no trouble, between the nations. All I know is it's getting close to time for him to be coming home. He comes home shortly after the people have access to the outer courts and the holy city for 42 months, and then Jesus redoes it himself because he will need it by the time he gets here, but it's not long after. But to see that touched my heart so much that I couldn't help but cry, because I knew, and I don't mean to say I this and I that, but I've been trying to keep up with the prophecies that's been fulfilled And I knew that they were getting smaller and smaller, and I was down to 7. And I'm so glad, because, see, up there, maybe people will hear me now. I don't know. And even if they don't, maybe some will. There is no pain. There is no stress. There is no worry. There is nothing that can make you feel sick. There is nothing but beauty and love and peace and joy and kindness and all the fruits of God, all the good things, you know. There's no heavy burdens to carry, worry or, you know, or burdens of how sick people feel, you know, and it's just beautiful. And all there is singing and beauty. And I can't wait. And I've talked to several people since, you know, since the doors open for them to talk, and none of them wanted to come back. And I can understand. I didn't either. I pitched a fit. I didn't either. So, you know, whenever he's ready, I'll be so happy. And I hope that everybody's had a blessed day. And I know now, thanks to Mr. Musk, that I've crossed over the threshold of being someone that's 100% thinking of God when I think of God, without distractions. If I want to talk to God, I'll leave whatever I'm doing. Whether if I'm in a conversation, I'll excuse myself, or if I feel a tug at my heart, or if I feel that he's whispering, or he's got something to tell me, I've gotten where I just walk off, and, well, I can't really walk right now, but because of surgery, but I'll be up and around in a couple days. But I just stopped doing what I'm doing, and I made him a number one. The very first thing I speak to when I wake up, the very last thing, or the first thing, well, last thing, I talk to him all day. I've always done that. I sleep with the Bible. I sleep with my arm around it. I sleep with my notes. I've got 2 or 3 notebooks filled up in the past, I don't know, 2 weeks, journaling. You know, you got, when you get close to him, you can feel when something's fixing to happen, or some people say when something's fixing to go down, you know. A slang, you know, something's fixing to go down. Yeah, it's not long now. It's not long. And there's no use for anybody to panic, because, you know, we've been watching it unfold for a couple of years now. And that's what's happening. It's unfolding, you know. And all of this was in my vision. But it was too much to tell. It was too much to try to tell. And automatically people thought that I had lost my mind. But I hadn't, you know. But I could not convince anybody. And it took other people to come on with near-death experiences or dying completely, and, you know, coming on, and that gave me a little bit of back. It made me feel better because they were saying pretty much the same things I was saying. You know, if it wasn't your time, then he told you. He said, you're here for a reason. It's not your time. That's usually the first thing he says, you know. And then I read the story about the gentleman that died, and I hope that it wasn't a generated story, but I pray that it was the truth. But there's a lot of stuff online that's generated. A lot of stuff on the news is not real. You know, it's being fabricated. It's not the news people's fault. You know, it's other people that's hacked into our internet that's doing it, and so you don't know what to believe. You really don't. That's why everything is so confusing right now, and the world is up in an uproar because by them doing that, then some of the news is false, and you don't know what to believe. So I'm staying in the Bible, and I'm just doing what Jesus says to do, you know. And he will not lead you astray. He will not lead you astray. And he will not leave you. And he loves us all. And I will never leave him. And I love you all. And I mean that. And to anybody and everybody that I've ever said anything or snapped at, you got to understand I've been in a lot of pain. I just tried to grin and bear it. I have a machine in my back, and you couldn't have the MRIs because the MRI magnetic pull would pull the wires loose that's braided up your spine and cause them to go into organs, different organs, and it was killing people. And in the beginning, they were not FDA approved. They are now, but I told them I didn't care. I was hurting so bad after the wreck that I would try anything. And I did. It works for some, but some it don't work for. So right now I got staples in my back. So if you see me sitting around and coming online, you know, and talking a little bit and praying or whatever, playing worship music, that's the reason why I got staples from my neck all the way down my back. And it takes about 8 days before I can get them out. 8 or 9 days. And I dread that part because they don't put you to sleep with that part. You got to go through that part. Anyway, I love all of you. I don't know what time it is, but I got to get off of here. I hope and pray that each one of you and your families are blessed by God in any kind of way that you need to be. And I hope and pray that your children will respect their parents and not go like a lot of children did when I was growing up, rebellious. Don't rebel against your parents, please. It will take you nowhere, okay? It'll take you nowhere. I hope everybody has had a beautiful day. I send you much love, honor, and respect. And thank you, Mr. Musk, for helping me understand that you weren't saying for me to get up and do something. I was trying to tell him I can't get up, but I couldn't talk to him because my microphone wasn't on. I thought he was telling me I had to walk through the door right then and there, and I couldn't get up and walk through the door. He probably thinks I'm crazy. Everybody else does. But now I'm crazy happy. I have never felt anything as beautiful as the pure essence of Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and God, Abba Father, as I do now. He is first all day long. All day long. All day long.